Our story begins with a little girl named Matsuri. Because her mother often left her alone, she used to feel very lonely. That's why she always dreamed of having an older brother. She would sit in front of the TV and watch a musical band called Terzetto. 3 years later, Matsuri is older now, but she still follows the same band, which consists of three brothers, Haruka, Azusa, and Masato. One day after school, her mom calls and tells her that she's getting remarried, and Matsuri's dream is finally coming true. She's going to have older brothers. Her mom tells her to come home quickly so she can welcome them. Matsuri excitedly runs home, only to be completely shocked when she sees that her new brothers are the same three boys from Terzetto. A month later, Matsuri moves in with them and starts living in their house. She even begins attending the same school as them. On her first day of school, she comes downstairs and sees the three brothers arguing. She feels disappointed because she always thought they understood and cared for each other. But ever since she started living with them, all she's seen is constant fighting. Their manager tells her to keep her identity a secret so no one finds out she's their sister. She agrees. After school, when she returns home and sees them fighting again, she quietly goes to her room and starts reading magazines. In the magazines, it says that the three brothers love each other very much. Matsuri feels hurt because she knows it's all a lie. So she decides to bring the three of them closer together by organizing a small party. Using the magazines, she figures out what each of them likes and prepares those things. That night, she sets everything up, but Haruka and Masato start fighting over the cake. Matsuri says she doesn't mind, she likes the cream too, but they keep fighting. Azusa steps in and tries to calm them down because he knows Matsuri worked really hard on the party. Frustrated, Matsuri loses her temper and throws a pie at them, which ends up hitting Azusa in the face. All three brothers are stunned by her reaction, since she's usually so calm. Then she suddenly faints, and they rush to take her to her room and lay her down. A while later, she regains consciousness and they all apologize to each other. That night, they decide to sleep together in the same room. The next day, during rehearsal, Matsuri quietly watches them. On the day of the concert, she brings them food. She accidentally bumps into a boy who sees her ID card and happily says he's known her since childhood. Matsuri quickly finds the room and gives everyone their meals. Azusa isn't there, so they tell her that he prefers being alone before a performance. Matsuri goes to him with his favorite food and asks if he's nervous. Azusa says he's not. Matsuri tells him that she believes in him and knows he'll succeed like always. Azusa then asks, "Do you support everyone like this, or is there something special here?" He moves closer and says, "If I said I loved you, not like a little sister, but truly, what would you do?" Matsuri panics, can't respond, and runs away. The concert begins. The crowd is excited and cheering. Matsuri watches them happily. She remembers what Azusa said and feels like her heart skipped a beat. Suddenly, there's a power outage, and everyone is confused. Matsuri remembers all the hard work they've done and decides to save the concert. She turns on her phone's flashlight and shouts for them to keep performing. The crowd follows her lead, turning on their own phone torches. The entire venue lights up, and everyone is overjoyed. The electricity returns, and the performance finishes perfectly. That night, Azusa thanks her and confesses his love again. Matsuri is shocked and doesn't know what to say. The next day after school, she sits alone, thinking about Azusa's confession. That's when Haruka shows up and says, "Let's go." She asks, "How did you know I was here?" Haruka tells her that he can see her location anytime through her GPS. Matsuri feels happy hearing that. Just then, the same boy she had bumped into earlier, Subaru, shows up again. It turns out that Subaru is an old friend of Haruka's. He reminds Matsuri that he's her childhood friend, the one she used to think of as her big brother. Matsuri recognizes him and becomes excited. Subaru spins her around in excitement. Haruka then tells Subaru that Matsuri is now their little sister because her mother has married their father. Subaru takes Matsuri aside to talk for a while. They sit down and reminisce about their childhood memories. He tells her that he's also becoming an idol now, under Terzetto's agency. Matsuri wishes him good luck. Then she leaves to go back to her team. Subaru thinks to himself that he always wanted to be her prince and protect her. Suddenly, he sees Azusa holding Matsuri's hand. That's when he realizes Azusa has feelings for her. Without wasting time, he runs up and kisses Matsuri on the cheek in front of Azusa. He tells Azusa that he won't back down. Matsuri is extremely flustered and runs away. Azusa glares at Subaru, as if silently saying that he's not going to give up on her either, because she's his girlfriend. The next day after school, Subaru is waiting for Matsuri. She tries to run away from him, but he hands her the ID card she dropped during the concert. He tells her that he's never going to give up and will become a prince, just for her. Then he hugs her. Matsuri feels confused and doesn't know how to tell him that she's in love with Azusa. The next day, Matsuri goes on her first official date with Azusa. They visit an old castle and explore it together. Later, they go out for dinner at a restaurant. A staff member approaches Azusa and asks if he could play the role of a prince because the scheduled actor couldn't show up. Azusa agrees. He then asks Matsuri if she'd play the princess role with him. The two perform on stage together. Azusa wears a mask and their chemistry amazes everyone. The audience starts to believe they're the real prince and princess. Suddenly, on stage, Matsuri confesses her love to Azusa. The next morning when she wakes up, she's in shock and feels very shy about what she said. She gets ready for school, and when she sees Azusa, she quickly says hello and rushes off. At school, she keeps avoiding him. Azusa notices her strange behavior. Eventually, he talks to her, and Matsuri finally opens up about her confusion and feelings. Azusa reassures her and tells her there's no need to rush their relationship. Matsuri hugs him, touched that he understands her. When Azusa and his brothers leave, Matsuri waves goodbye to them from the window. As she turns, a student stops her and threatens to post a picture of her and Azusa online, claiming they're a couple. Matsuri lies and says they're just siblings. The boy shows her a picture of his idol group and says his name is Yao, a member of Subaru's group. He tells her that Subaru likes her, but he can't understand why everyone seems to love her. So he demands that she pretend to be his girlfriend to help him figure it out. Reluctantly, Matsuri agrees, afraid the picture might get leaked. When students see them together, they're shocked. Yao casually announces that Matsuri is his girlfriend, making her extremely embarrassed. She runs to the rooftop, Yao follows, and asks if she's really in a relationship with Azusa. Matsuri denies it and says they're just siblings. Yao admits he thought he'd enjoy spending time with her and understand what makes her special. Matsuri talks to him kindly and forgives him for what he did earlier. Yao realizes that she's genuinely sweet and innocent. He apologizes, deletes the photo, and says he wants a fresh start. He also mentions that their trainer is looking for a girl to star in their first music video. He says he can recommend her if she's interested. Matsuri thinks this could be a great opportunity to get closer to Azusa, so she asks Azusa for his opinion. When Azusa hears she wants to participate, he's immediately supportive and says yes with a smile. He hugs her and tells her he's never seen her as just a normal girl, and as long as she truly wants it, he'll never stand in her way. Just then, Azusa's brothers arrive and also encourage Matsuri to not miss this chance. The next day, Matsuri goes for the music video shoot. She plays the role of Princess Mira. The group is called Prism, and it consists of 4 boys, Subaru, Yamato, Maki, and Kei. Their roles are princes who are competing for the princess's heart. A few days later, Terzetto's manager calls Matsuri in and announces that Prism's first video was a huge success. Fans are loving it. Matsuri makes drinks for everyone. The manager says they need to stand out more in the upcoming music show. The next day, the Prism group performs at the music program, followed by Azusa and his brothers. Matsuri is there, supporting them from backstage. 2 days later, Terzetto's training camp begins. Matsuri brings them food, but the manager doesn't let her in. He explains that the boys won't be coming home for a few days due to intense training. Matsuri understands and leaves. On her way back, she runs into Subaru. She sees that he looks unwell, so she brings him to her home and takes care of him until he feels better. By the time Terzetto returns from training, Subaru has already left. Haruka tells Matsuri that everyone is going on a trip to an onsen, hot spring. Matsuri asks if she can come, and Haruka says of course she's part of the family now. Everyone starts packing their things. Azusa comes close to Matsuri and hugs her, saying he missed her. After arriving at the trip, Matsuri starts feeling a little lonely because everyone seems busy. Then Maki, a member of Prism, shows up and tells her that their group is also on the same trip. He invites her to try the hot spring. Matsuri agrees, not realizing that the women's time is over, and when she enters, she unexpectedly finds Azusa sitting there. Shocked, she screams. Azusa calmly tells her that it's men's time now. Matsuri quickly apologizes and prepares to leave, but just then they hear someone else coming in. Azusa tells her to hide quickly. She hides. Subaru walks in and starts talking to Azusa about Matsuri. Matsuri becomes sad when she hears that Subaru really does love her. After Subaru leaves, Azusa also exits. Matsuri and Azusa later sit down and talk. Matsuri tells Azusa that hearing his voice makes her really happy, but she wants to spend time with the real Azusa, not the idol version. She hugs him tightly. After the onsen trip, everyone returns to their normal lives. Matsuri starts practicing with the school basketball team because a championship is coming up. The reward for the best player? A live performance by the Terzetto group just for them. Since Matsuri is weak at basketball, some of her teammates mock her. One girl even tries to hit her with a ball, but Yamato steps in and defends her. He says he'll personally train her. Matsuri thanks him but declines, saying she can't train with him because people might get the wrong idea. Yamato assumes it's because of Azusa, but he tells her she should focus on her training and aim to be the best player. Matsuri decides to train on her own and work harder than ever. Later, she thanks Yamato for his support and walks away. She then meets Azusa and tells him that she'll be coming home late for the next few days. Azusa looks a little upset and asks, "Is Yamato going to be training you, like I heard?" Matsuri quickly explains that she doesn't feel comfortable training with him, so she'll be practicing alone. Azusa relaxes after hearing that and encourages her. He even gives her his bracelet, which makes Matsuri really happy. Afterwards, she creates a cooking schedule so everyone shares responsibility during the training period. A few days later, the tournament day arrives. While Matsuri is practicing, some of her jealous teammates, envious of Yamato's interest in her, ask her to return the basketballs to the storage room afterward. When she goes to the storage room, they lock her inside and say they'll only open the door after the tournament. Matsuri bangs on the door in panic. Suddenly, she hears a voice and realizes Yamato is inside, napping. She rushes over and asks if he has a phone, but it's dead. Matsuri gets frustrated. She worked so hard for this tournament and now she might miss it. Yamato calms her down. Meanwhile, Terzetto's manager informs the group that Prism has taken first place, and Terzetto came in second for the first time in 3 years. The boys are shocked. The manager says Prism might soon replace them. Azusa angrily declares that Terzetto will never end. Back in the storage room, it begins to rain and thunder. Yamato, terrified of lightning, hugs Matsuri without thinking. Embarrassed, he quickly apologizes and admits he's been scared of thunder since he was little. Both Terzetto and Prism teams realize that Yamato and Matsuri are missing. Yamato keeps his distance from Matsuri, but when he sees how worried she is about him, he gets emotional. Matsuri tells him she'll stay by his side until the storm passes. Yamato confesses he kept his distance because he thought she didn't like him. Matsuri laughs and says, "You're silly." When she sneezes, Yamato gently places his jacket over her. Just then, they hear voices from outside. Matsuri shouts for help, and their team opens the door and rescues them. The next day is the tournament. Matsuri wins the first round. When she meets Yamato afterward, Azusa sees them together and gets irritated. He tells Yamato to stay away from his sister. The two walk off the field to talk. There, Yamato confesses that he likes Matsuri too. Azusa responds, saying Matsuri is his love. She belongs to him. Yamato fires back, saying even Azusa could lose her, just like he's losing fans. Time will tell who Matsuri ends up with. The second round of the tournament begins. Matsuri gives it everything she has and wins. She is awarded the best player title. When the teacher announces her name on stage, she's not there. Azusa and his brothers go on stage and explain that Matsuri chose to share the award with everyone. She requested a special performance for all the students. The brothers perform and the crowd cheers wildly. Later, Matsuri meets them and praises their performance. But when she tries to speak to Azusa, he tells her they should break up and return to being just brother and sister. Matsuri is stunned. Azusa does this because he wants to focus on regaining Terzetto's popularity. Their label has announced a training camp where all idol teams will compete, and only one will win. The next day, the manager tells Matsuri to wake Terzetto up for the training camp. She'll be going with them. When they arrive at the camp, they learn that Prism is also there. Both teams are briefed on the rules. Only one team can win the final trophy. Terzetto starts training hard. During a break, Matsuri offers them water, but Azusa ignores her. Even his brothers are confused by his cold behavior. That night, snow begins to fall. Matsuri is outside the camp, enjoying the snowfall. Subaru shows up and begins talking about their childhood memories. He hugs her and confesses his love. Matsuri tries to deny it, saying no, but her reaction gives her away. Subaru tells her she's the most important girl in his life. Then he walks away. Matsuri begins searching for the bracelet Azusa gave her, which has gone missing. When Azusa realizes she's not around, he goes out to find her. He eventually finds her and asks what she's doing. She tells him she's looking for the bracelet he gave her. Azusa tells her it's not important and she should come back because it's cold. They can look later, but Matsuri says it's special to her and she needs to find it before it starts snowing again. Azusa realizes he crossed a line. He had been ignoring her when none of this was her fault. Suddenly, Matsuri collapses from the cold. Azusa quickly carries her to her room and takes care of her. The next day, Matsuri feels better, and things between them return to normal. She cooks a meal for everyone, and the boys all sit together and compliment her cooking. Suddenly, they hear noise from outside. When they check, they find the media gathered around. A photo of Subaru and Matsuri has gone viral, falsely claiming they're a couple, and that she was only cast in the video because of Subaru. Everyone rushes back inside, shocked by the news coverage. Yamato steps up and clears things by revealing that he was the one who recommended Matsuri for the video, not Subaru. Matsuri confirms it, but despite the truth, the training is cancelled, and Subaru is told to stay home for a while. A few days later, Matsuri reads some hurtful online comments about Subaru and gets really upset. Azusa comes to comfort her and tells her that worrying won't help anything. Later, Matsuri visits Subaru and says she's ready to speak to the press and tell them the truth. But Subaru refuses. He says he doesn't want Matsuri to get into trouble because of him. Matsuri tells him that he's her childhood friend and he's always supported her, so now she wants to do something for him. Touched by her words, Subaru kisses her and confesses his love. The next day at school, Ki approaches Matsuri and asks her to go home and change. He needs her help. He takes her to a party-like place where Yamato is hiding, having run away from practice. Some boys start harassing Matsuri, but Yamato steps in and protects her. Ki tells Yamato to return to training, but he refuses. Matsuri also talks to him, but Yamato unexpectedly confesses his love for her, leaving her shocked. The same boys start recording videos of them trying to ruin Yamato's image. When one of them tries to pour a drink on Matsuri, she throws the drink on herself to stop them and protect her dignity. Man gets angry and pushed her to a glass. Just then, Azusa shows up and saves her, but he gets injured in the process. Azusa is taken to the hospital and the doctor advises rest. Matsuri explains that Yamato carried Azusa all the way to the hospital. Azusa promises that he'll recover and return to the stage to win the prize. The manager announces that the team has been disqualified from the competition, but Azusa refuses to accept it. Yamato protests, saying Azusa can't perform in his condition, but Azusa stands firm. Everyone leaves the room, but Matsuri stays behind. As she prepares to leave, Azusa stops her and asks her to stay a little longer. Matsuri says she can't, blaming herself for his injury, but Azusa tells her that he brought trouble into her life too, and admits that he's not always perfect. He has flaws too. He then takes her hand and says he'll go on stage and prove that Matsuri's rightful place is by his side. He asks her to believe in him. Matsuri decides to support him and encourages him. Azusa's brothers request the manager to allow them to perform, but he refuses. That's when the Prism group steps in, insisting the competition should be fair. After much convincing, the manager finally agrees. Haruka and Masato begin rehearsing, and Matsuri records their practice so Azusa can watch and learn. Even with his injury, Azusa gives it his best. Meanwhile, Prism continues their own training. The performance day arrives. Azusa wraps his injured knee and prepares to go on stage. He tells Matsuri to stay backstage because just seeing her gives him strength. This makes Matsuri really happy. The Prism group performs first, and their performance is a huge hit. The crowd cheers loudly. Then it's Terzetto's turn. Before going on stage, the boys thank Matsuri. They say it's because of her that they've become a real team again. During the performance, Azusa suddenly falls to his knees, but his brothers do the same, making it seem like part of the choreography. Their performance is so powerful and emotional that even the Prism members are moved. Backstage, Matsuri watches proudly. After the show, Azusa takes Matsuri home and tells her that they're officially a couple now. He promises to protect both their love and his career, and that he'll work hard to become a superstar. Hearing that, Matsuri smiles with joy. In the end, their love wins, despite all the obstacles, and the two continue forward together, happily. And that's where today's drama ends. We'll see you in the next video with a brand new summary.